Hey, everybody, I'm so excited here at We Move Forward Together as we talk about how the Dominican sisters have influenced different institutions and different people here on Long Island. And I'm so happy to welcome the president of Molloy University, Dr. James Lentini. Dr. James, great to have you on the program.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Steve.
Hey, so, I've done some homework because I'm talking to a big brain guy. And you've celebrated, I think, what are you in your sixth or seventh year as the president of Molloy?
Year 6.
Year 6. You've had your first year record enrollment. You became a university. Tell me this, how has the Dominican pillars influenced life at Molloy?
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting question. So I just, I'll give you one example. So I sat down and talked to our student government president yesterday and talked about, I always hear how people feel Molloy is different than some other institutions in terms of how people treat each other, this kind of overall pretty pleasant, happy environment, I guess. And I said, this is what I see. So I asked our student government president, am I missing anything? Is this,
Right.
She said, no, it's really true. And I think it comes from those values we talk about. And it comes from, I think, the founding values that the sisters had. Certainly, we don't have all practicing Catholics on our campus, but we have some interfaith students on our campus. And we do have a Hillel Club, and we have a Muslim Student Association. So we are very inclusive here that way. But I think it's the values, and I think it comes from the Dominican values that we have.
Yeah, one of the mottos, both of your university and the Dominicans, is Veritas,
Yeah.
which is Latin for truth.
Right.
And in the culture divide that we live in right now, with AI and what's truth and what's not truth, how is that influenced? How do you get to the truth?
Boy, that's certainly that's a question, right? I mean, because that is well, I think that what we try going back to what St. Dominic really talked about and what the sisters forwarded in their beliefs and into how the university started and what we continue to try to do. We talk about Veritas and the fact that it is our mission. It's the core part of our mission. The way I think about it, and I hope it translates to some degree at the institution, is that we do adhere to those kind of things. When you learn something that you do base the information you see on facts, and that there is a subjective value to some things. There's an objective value to things, and try to discern between those two. And but it's a tough question. I mean, I think it's going to be an ever ongoing search, right, for whatever the truth might be. But the truth might be something within a discipline, might be something within a dialogue. It might be something within a faith-based institution like ours. So I think it takes many forms.
Yeah, I tell you, one of the things that jumped out at me as far as the foundation of the idea of knowledge plus character. And maybe that's what I look at is I'm always going back to, and none of us are perfect, right? But to the people who are teaching, where I'm learning from, I look to their character. And I recognize flaws as we do, but man, if you have some good foundation of character, the truth seems more potent, I guess, to me.
I would agree with that. We talk about that in this form. I think we say it's about education for the whole student. So it's yes, we want you to learn a skill, a knowledge base that's going to help you in the next part of your career or whatever you do when you graduate from Molloy. But what does it mean to educate the whole person? It's about thinking about ethical leadership, thinking about ethical behavior. We do talk about those things. I think it comes across with the faculty members who teach here, with the staff members who interact with our students and everyone else, and public safety even. All the things that we do on campus, all the interactions we have is about, how do we treat each other? There's a cliche here. I would like to come up with another one, but
Okay.
Molloy is a place that opens the door for you, right? And that could mean a lot of things. But people will open the door for you, right? But might have a wider meaning than that too.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because you were also rated by the Wall Street Journal as the 52nd nationally for social mobility.
Mm-hmm. Proud of
Tell me,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
tell me more about that.
Yeah, I think, so the families who come to Molloy tend to be in the middle income range, as an average. So knowing, how expensive it is to live on a place like Long Island.
Sure do.
So what our students really, we have about 30+% Pell eligible students, meaning family incomes are on the lower end for Pell students, for example.
Hmm.
So the social mobility part truly is, kind of uplifting, taking your life and your family life to another level when you graduate, both in income level, living standard, and those kind of things. So that's what the social mobility is about. So I think it really is about the students who we take in and who they become when they leave.
Yeah, what's so interesting to me. I was harkening back to when we took my daughter. This was some time ago on college tours, and you get the feel for the school, the spirit of the school per se. But what I think is so important, and you mentioned the fact that you had these different organizations. It's a Catholic institution, but it's very welcoming. I've talked to other faith traditions that really rely on Catholic social teaching to kind
Mm.
of guide them, even though they have a different faith tradition or no faith tradition. So, tell me about how that intertwines with, I would call it the soul of Molloy University.
Yeah, so it's an interesting topic. With all that's gone on nationally, and not to be controversial or anything, but with
No.
so many institutions, we're looking at diversity, equity, and inclusion. Those kind of things became, somewhat politicized. I mean, I think it's what we've seen. And I'm not going to get into the political debate on it, but what we really we looked at here before DEI was probably a thing people talked about. Some
Mhm.
of the same things have been in Catholic social teaching for a long time,
Right.
helping those who need help. People in lesser economic conditions, people who, our role as a Catholic institution is to uplift others. And so a lot of the belief systems, you don't have to have a certain moniker for it, but it is under the umbrella of Catholic social teaching. And I do think that's another pervasive tradition that's passed on from the sisters to where we are today.
Yeah, what I find so interesting, I think there's so much value in diversity as we get out of I would say like our neighborhood bubble, especially when you're a young person. I mean, how many nephews and nieces that I know that were socially challenged just in conversation, and they came back from their first year of college and they were different people. And
Yeah.
I'm, kind of jumping to it, but I think it's that meeting other people, where they come from, especially different economic structures, ethnic structures, that sort of thing, and coming into the mixing bowl of Molloy, you can't help but grow if you're open to it.
So true. And I was mentioning this student I was talking to just yesterday. I have regular meetings with students. I meet with a whole group of them on Tuesday. It's something I love to do.
Hmm.
Um, so many of them have told me that a life-changing experience, while they're still here, they're not even graduated yet,
Okay.
is being able to take an international trip. Going and some of these are trips the sisters have been doing for years to El Salvador, places like that. Even to Appalachia, they do a trip
Hmm.
there. And the students who come back talk about a life changer. I mean, they've seen not just off of Long Island what goes on, but in a different culture, and it does change the way they think about their life in the world.
Yeah, I can speak to that for my own daughter. It was life changing both in grammar school, going to Guatemala, and then, working, hey, working in service trips and that sort of thing. And there's so much, like you said, there's so much wealth to be, learned from the poor, right?
Yeah.
And, you may go with the good intention of providing for them, but what you get back, and this is really just not, you really do, everyone you speak to,
Yeah.
who's
No
gone
doubt.
on a service trip has
Well,
been
again, it's
changed.
been such part of the mission of the sisters for so long, and we learn from them, and they lead a lot of these trips. So we're blessed to still have our sisters, at least some of them around who are really taking part in this.
Yeah, and you know what my experience has been since doing this podcast was so pervasive with the Dominican sisters to me is the joy you see in them when you meet them. And, and that's what we're trying to do, with this particular podcast. By the way, in talking to the audience who's listening to this, hey, I want to hear your comments. If you're a graduate from Molloy, if you're an adult who does some adult programs at Molloy, I want to hear your story, and listen in the comments, and please subscribe because that helps us grow and spread the word about the influence these women who work in the trenches, and what they do for our communities. And they're mostly unsung. I got to be really honest with you. And, I've been educated this past year and feel fully blessed,
Mm-hmm.
having met these. So I want to mention, the four, they call them energy centers that we kind of focus on, which is social justice, community, spirituality, and ecology. Pick one. Tell me how that maybe the Dominican life has influenced your experience now that you're the president of Molloy for 6 years.
Well, the social justice part is something that I think is of importance here on our campus. We have these committees have been around before. Again, any politicization of terms or anything like that.
Sure.
Trying to think about how do we not only educate ourselves and look for self-improvement, but watch what's going on around us, both on campus and in our communities. And the social justice piece has taken such life here in terms of our community engagement. And community engagement, is another point of pride
Mhm.
for us is that this past year we did a survey of looking at all the organizations we partner with, the Inn, so many others. I probably shouldn't start naming them because I'm going to forget in a
I
moment
hear
here
you.
with all the different ones that are faculty, our students, and so many others, Bethany House, I mean, all these kinds of places. It's about spending our own time and energy working with those organizations who help others for the purpose of social justice. How do we, um, it's our role, it's our job to some degree, we feel, to not just use our new knowledge or our self-improvement for ourselves, but to share that with others and to share what our talents and gifts are with others in need in the community. So that is really a powerful thing. So what happened, there's something called the Carnegie Classification for Community Engagement. It's a
Okay.
selective group of institutions that get it. Many who applied are rejected. I was at a previous institution where we tried the first time, did not get this designation. We were a first-time applicant here at Molloy for doing this. I could see that we had so many things going on and we'd have a chance, but I didn't know if we'd get it the first time. So there's something like 4,000 institutions in the country,
Wow.
4-year institutions. There's over 200 or so, that's all, that have this designation, and we just got it this year.
Oh,
And I think it just
congratulations.
is a proof point of, kind of the quality and importance that we place on community engagement.
Wow. I can ask you this. So let's say I'm a parent, and I'm trying to place my child, or help them figure out what they want to do with life, and they're coming to Molloy. What is what different, curriculum or you have strengths in that said, hey, if your kid likes nursing, this is going to be for you. If your
Yeah.
kid is into finance and business, we have a school for that. So of the top ones, what would you say fits a good profile of interest for people who want to come to a smaller institution with Catholic social teaching and the Dominican values as its foundation?
So you want me to say which child I like best? Is that what you're saying?
Pick a
All the
favorite. That's always a good
all
question.
the majors have such really all are committed to the Dominican mission, and you can see it on the web pages. I was at the school business web page recently, and they all talk about the difference in a commitment to the Catholic mission and the ethical part to that. So, but look, what Molloy has been known for a long time, and I know we're proud of it, of course, is nursing.
Okay.
We are over 5,000 students, and about half of those are nursing majors. So that's a remarkable number. We're actually one of the larger undergraduate nursing programs in the country.
Wow. Amazing.
And we graduate over 400 nurses every year.
Wow.
Stunning number, and it could be more. I mean, we have so much capacity. So nursing is certainly an outstanding and deservedly so program. Our business majors, it's a smaller program than nursing, but our majors are finding great success in post graduation. Education's been a stalwart here for so many years,
Right.
and we do train a lot of the people who become superintendents and leaders in the education field, and we continue to do that. And School of Arts and Sciences has a broad number of programs in it. Criminal justice, the humanities, of course, which are very important to us. The arts and performing arts, we have this in the sciences. Don't want to forget that. Biology is an underpinning for all the health areas we especially nursing. And we have a PA program that will be coming on board next year too, a physician
Nice.
assistant program. I got to mention one other thing though. So when I got, the way I knew Molloy, I came here from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
People often ask, well, how'd you end up on Long Island from Michigan? It's a long story, but I did know when my son is a musical theater person, lives in the city, but he was in Michigan at the time. We knew this program, Cap 21. It's a musical theater program here at Molloy. And while I didn't know it was at Molloy, when I thought, Cap 21 is there, very interesting, because it's a nationally known musical theater program. We have a teaching site in Lower Manhattan. So,
Okay.
when I got here and saw, got to meet the students and everything, I was blown away. So we get these students from practically every state in the country applies to be in this program. New York is a big part of that, of course, but it's a high quality program. So right now, just to cut to the chase, we have 3 of our majors, recent graduates, who are on Broadway and starring roles right now from Cap 21. One is starring in Ragtime, Michelle
Okay.
Lewis. One has got a lead role in Book of Mormon.
Right.
And another one is a swing in Mamma Mia. So,
Right.
it's cool stuff. And, everybody wants to be on Broadway. Well, come to Molloy and you'll get there. So that's
Well, I'm going to take a stab at it. I think I know who your favorite child is as far as the school goes. And I would be amiss if I didn't mention this, is the fact that you're a award-winning composer and classical guitarist and a member of the Grammy group, right?
Yeah, I get to
So-
vote on the Grammys. So, people always ask me how that happens. I have recordings out there. You can look it up on Spotify, Amazon, all the places that have music. I'm not trying to sell here, but, it's out there. And
I put you up to it.
if you have these recordings distributed by particular distributors, you can qualify to be a Grammy voter. So I've been doing that for a long time. Got to go one time, the 50th. I forgot what year that was, 2008, 9, I can't
Oh,
remember.
wow.
Fabulous experience. And I'm a composer. I'm a guitar. I'll play rock guitar. I'll do that with my students, and we have fun here doing that. It really is who I am. That's what I was most of my life, most of my career. I was a
That's great.
full professor of music, teaching music composition and theory, and also did a lot with electronic music and computers and music and that sort of thing. So it is the roots of who I am. Another pride point for me personally is that when I started out as a professor at Wayne State University in Detroit, I created their music technology program, which is going strong to this day. So I'm proud of that.
Amazing stuff. Hey, it's so wonderful to have you on again. And I'm going to come by Molloy and
Please.
maybe we'll have a coffee or something. And I
Sure.
got to check it out. My interest is
Well, if
really
you haven't been on
deep.
campus, please do. I mean, we got this great theater. We've got a state-of-the-art nursing facility. I mean, it's a great campus.
Yeah, very good. Well, I know we're short on time today, and I want to thank you so much, Dr. James, for spending some time with us. And letting us know a little bit more about the spirit of Molloy University.
Anytime. Thanks very much.
All right. Until
Thank you.
next time, everybody, be well.